Well, Langara College has seen a nosedive in international student enrollment, and that's because of the federal cap announced earlier this year. It's a big deal for the college because it has one of the highest proportions of international students in BC, and it's got the Faculty Association worried about jobs and the way the college may restructure its course offerings to deal with that declining enrollment. And for more on this, we're joined by Pauline Greaves. She is the president of the Langara Faculty Association. Good morning to you, Pauline.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time with us. First off, just how significant is this decline in enrollment?
Well, what we've seen for September was drastic decline, especially in certain programs such as the business program. In September, we had lost, compared to 2023, 112 course sections. So this is where they would post the number of courses that were being offered, and then students would choose the courses that they want to go in.
Okay.
And we're anticipating that it will be worse for spring.
And what does that mean in actual student numbers?
Well, it's difficult for us to know the Faculty Association, but in terms of faculty, what it means is that we're looking at anywhere between 27 plus. In September, the equivalent of 27 faculty didn't have work. So if it's going to get worse for January, then it's also going to see that could double or triple. It's difficult to know at this stage.
And are you also seeing a decline in domestic students, or is this just international student enrollment?
No, we've always had a decline in domestic students, and it continues to drop as well. So I believe the college is working on strategy of how to re-engage with the domestic students and how they're able to offer different types of courses that could meet the need. Right now, Langara is considered a transfer university, so we have a lot of students who would come in, take their preparation course, go to UBC or SFU. But we also offer degree programs as well, and for returning students who want to upskill some of their courses.
And so I understand you're anticipating then a change in the kinds of courses offered at Langara. How does that play into this worry about job cuts?
Well, it is one of our biggest concerns. So we've asked the college to provide us with a plan and strategies of how they will be dealing with the situation in both short term, medium term, and long term. And what we've seen to date is that there is a restructuring, a planned restructuring of the college. We are not sure what that actually means. We know that it is part of this strategic plan and that there's a deadline now for this to be put in place by March, but it hasn't really addressed any of the concerns that we have in terms of loss of faculty and loss of workload.
And do we have any idea what a planned restructuring of the college means?
No, not really. We've been asking. We had a presentation, and the college is currently going through some town halls to present the plan that they envisioned. And basically, what they're proposing at this time is to take what exists right now in terms of departments and programs and basically condense all of those down into what is called centers that will focus on areas that the college is looking or feel that they might be able to attract new students or increase the number of students. The problem with it is it too will end up with a reduction of faculty, and they're not relaying what that actually means in terms of numbers with the Faculty Association. It continues to be promoted as, well, it's a concept and it still has to be considered.
Yeah, we received a statement from Langara College, and in the statement it says that we are in the process of developing a new strategic framework, a process that has included faculty and division meetings, town halls, a campus-wide steering committee, and an upcoming open house. We intend to publish the new strategic framework in the spring of 2025, and it goes on to say that the offering of micro-credentials is one aspect of a much broader strategic vision, which is being driven by the evolution of educational student demand. Langara has no plan to restructure its credit-based courses and offer them as micro-credential courses instead. What's a micro-credential course?
Micro-credential courses are courses that basically are less than the academic course, the credit courses. It's, for example, if you want to expand on, you have a degree already or you have training, you can come in for up to 12 weeks and therefore, and take another layer. Think of it as stacking the different certificates that you might have.
Okay.
The downside to micro-credentials, if you're running that within an academic framework, is who's going to run those courses. We currently have, as a result of increased international students, there has been a large number of precarious faculty at colleges and universities. We have 179, what we call reg and temp. These are regular faculty, but they're in temporary positions. And the college have not converted those to continuing because they felt that, well, the bucket could fall, could drop out with international students. It's not a secure base of funding. With micro-credentials, they can bring anyone in, pay them hourly rate to run a course from semester to semester. That undermines the collective agreement and what the union is attempting to do, which is to allow for faculty to be able to have secure jobs.
Have universities and post-secondary institutions like your own come to rely too much on the lucre of international students?
Absolutely. I think over the years, well, the biggest problem with this situation is not just the colleges or universities that have relied on international student. It has to do with the lack of funding. There's a real problem with the funding model that is used by the government for post-secondary education.
Right.
And BC has a big problem. And, in 2022, when we recognized the funding situation was quite precarious, the Federation of Post-Secondary Educators reached out to the government and said, we need to come to the table and review this funding model. It's not working.
Right. Pauline,
colleges
my apologies. We are going to have to leave it there. We're right up against the clock. Thank you so much for taking the time with us this morning. I'd love to talk again.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay. And anytime. Thank you so much for having me.
You take care. Thank you. That's Pauline Greaves, president of the Langara Faculty Association.